Anytime you're ready.
Okay. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivanam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanandayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye.
Yasya Dviradavaktraadyaha Parishadya Parashatam Vignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamashraye.
Jnananandamayan devam nirmalaspatika kritim adharan sarva vidyanam hayakrivamupassmahe pundarika sanasinam Pandura Prendu Sannipam Akhanda Bodha Janakam Hayakriva Mupasmahe Gurupyascha Namo Vakamadi Mahe Vrinimahe Chatatradyao Dampati Jagatampati Shri Krishna Vagishayatishvarabhyam Samprapta Chakranakanaphyasasaram Shri Narangendra Yatau Samarpitasvam Shri Krishna Maryam Guru Varyamide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Kritodayam Yogacharyam Krishna Maryam Guru Varyam Maham Bhaje Shishyakam Krishna Maryasya Natavam Shapradipakam Kalyana Gunarupantam Shri Deshikam Namam Yaham Prashanta Purushakaram Viniyoga Pracharakam Vishesha Surim Tandeshikam Smaram Yaham Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's bring out the Bhagavad Gita verse, Neha Bhikramana Shosti. I'll introduce a slightly different melody, just, for fun. And how many of you now know this so that you could chant it without reading it? Good. So the idea is for us to get to know this verse so well that we don't need to read it. We just can chant it from the heart. I think it's a great one to remind us that even the smallest effort protects us from great fear. Om. Now I'm forgetting the melody I was going to present. A moment, please. Got it. Om Neha Bhikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat Neha Bhikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Now, concerning this verse, are there any requests to repeat one line or any words that you want to just work on? Are you pretty sure of the pronunciation?
Leslie, could you do that melody again? It's so beautiful. I'm just used to I'm used to a different way of chanting it.
Yeah,
But I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? And for some people, I've had people say that for them, it's like a lullaby.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. And it's interesting, some melodies people go to immediately, and it improves their pronunciation improves, and the memory improves just because they happen to be drawn to a particular melody. So I think I'll continue to give melodies, and this is a really nice one. Neha Bhikramana Shosti. So let's just repeat that line. Neha Bhikramana Shosti. So then I'll do the end of it, moving into the following line. Shosti Pratya. So I'll repeat that. Na Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate. Pratyavayo Navidyate. So let's do those two lines together. Neha Bhikramana Shosti pratyavayo na vidyate. So we'll move to the next two lines. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya. Let's repeat that. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Trayate mahato bhayat. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Hello, Caitlin. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I had an appointment earlier in the city and it was very hard to get back in time.
Listen, don't worry. I was late today, so I don't think I apologized as profusely as you did. I do apologize. No, I'm just glad you're here. So we're working on that Bhagavad Gita verse with a particular melody. Okay, so the third line, there's a lot of fancy articulation of the tongue there. Svalpam. So if I were to say it and separate each word, it's svalpam, even a little, or svalpam api. Api means even. Svalpam, of a little, even of a little bit. Svalpam api asya, of this. Svalpam api asya dharmasya, of this dharma. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya. Svalpam api asya dharmasya. Svalpamapyasya dharmasya. So that the I sound at the end of api, followed by the asya, api asya. If you were to repeat just those two words over and over again, do that for yourself right now. Api asya, api asya, api asya, api asya, and then accelerate. Api asya, api asya, api asya. Are you finding that there's a natural inclination to just say apyasya? That's what we kind of arrive at. So the Sanskritists decided to drop the letter I and put the Y there, so it becomes apyasya. So now let's chant the verse again, and then afterward, I'd love it if all of you could each get a chance to chant it, and let's see what happens. And when I chanted ne, it was a different pitch from om, just because that's what I did, because this is a different melody, and I think it sounds like it has more than 3 notes, doesn't it? But I could try to have om be the same as the first sound. Let's see. Om Nehabhikramanat Shosti. Let's do it over. I'm sorry, I had a senior moment. Om Nehabhikramanashosti Pratyavayo navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Trayate mahato bhayat. As I think I've mentioned before, in many traditions, the final phrase will be repeated as though to put it in bold, as though we really mean what we say. Who would like to chant this? Or perhaps one line and each person could take a line? Or each person could take 2 lines, or each person could take the whole verse? Who feels ready for this?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, this is good. Okay.
We'll see if something doesn't creep in, but I'll try.
And remember, this is not a Vedic chant. I simply offered a melody. So if there's deviation that makes you happier, amen to that. You'll be doing something.
Okay. Om Neha Bhikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Payat Trayate Mahato Payat.
What do you all think? Pretty beautiful. Pretty awfully beautiful.
Thank you. I could feel
Thank you,
some
Jennifer.
deviation
That's
there.
Yeah, it was great. And it sounds like you're already comfortable with that melody or something different. Yeah, wonderful. Who else would like to? Or get creative. Elizabeth, love to hear you.
Om Neha Neha Bhikramana. I lost it.
Maybe all you need to do is start your Om a little higher.
Om Ne. I think I just lost the beginning of the melody. That's what it is.
Neha Bhikramana da ra 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 ram diri.
Neha Bhikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahatopayate.
Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Now, let's see.
I'll try, Leslie.
Please do. Yes. Okay.
Oh,
A little twist from down under, right?
lovely. Om Nehar Bikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpam Apyasya Damasya Treyate Mahato Bayata.
Beautiful. How did that feel?
Okay, a little,
Yeah.
staccato.
That was beautiful. The trayate is there's a long ah. Trayate. Trayate means protect. So instead, because I was hearing I was hearing a little bit of trayate, so it's trayate.
Tra.
Tra.
Okay.
Really nice, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra?
Okay. Om Neha Vikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svapamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Pyayata.
That
I
really was
missed.
beautiful. Would you like to do it over? And the last word, bhayat. So that's one of those mahaprana beginnings that we use, and we utilize our abdomen to help. Bhayat. Mahato
Pyayat.
hayat. Unless I spelled it wrong on the handout.
I doubt it.
Okay, do it one more time.
Om Neha Vikramana Sho. No, I got that wrong. Om Neha Vikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svapamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Pyayata. I can't get that. Dharmasya.
It's a mahaprana thing. Svalpam apyasya daha. So here we go with the abdomen, using the abdomen. Dhar masya
Dharmasya.
trayate mahato bhayat. All those ha mahaprana sounds. But those first two lines especially were perfect. You sounded like someone who ought to be teaching this.
No, I don't think so, Leslie.
That was good, Sandra. Brava. Very nice and very beautiful. Let's see, who hasn't done it? Caitlin, Patty? Okay. Patty, and then Caitlin, why don't you just go in succession, one after the other?
Okay. Om Neha Pikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Payat.
That was beautiful.
Om Neha Vikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat.
Very nice, Caitlin. All of you, wonderful. I'm going to give you an assignment, and that is to practice this verse in whatever melody moves your heart, and you have to memorize it by next Tuesday. Gosh, it feels very strange being strict. But you guys practically all have it memorized anyway. Can we please move on to the Shanti Pata, the Shanti Pata's handout that we've had before? And I just wanted to work, I'd love to do a lot of them, but I wanted to get to, Caitlin, I did create the Shanti Pata for the new one based on your request. And we're going to get to it in a minute, but I wanted to review Namo Brahmane, Namo Astvagnaye, Namah Prithvyai, Namah Oshadhibhyaha, Namo Vache, Namo Vachaspataye, Namo Vishnave, Brihate Karomi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this one, what I'm remembering with us is that I don't think you're having a problem too much with the sounds, with the varna, which are the articulation of the tongue. It was just being able to read and recognize when a diacritical mark is telling the vowel to go down in pitch, and when it's telling us that the vowel has to be long or something like that. So just to review slowly, Om Namo. So you see the horizontal line under the O, right? So that's telling us to go down in pitch. Namo. And then Brahma. Then there's a vertical stroke over Ah. So we go from the beginning. Namo Brahmane, then all the way down to Ne. So let's do that from Om twice through. Om Namo Brahmane, Namo Astvagnaye. Sorry, I went on, but I think you're ready for it. So is that making sense with the reading? So your eye is recognizing, it's matching up with what the ear is hearing. That's what I want to know. Okay, all right. So now let's just try it all the way through and see what we get. Om Namo Brahmane, Namo Astvagnaye, Namah Prithvyai, Namah Oshadhibhyaha, Namo Vache, Namo Vachaspataye, Namo Vishnave, Brihate Karomi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now let's pick up the pace and let's chant through the entire thing twice. Unless if anyone has a request to go over anything specifically at this point. If not, we'll just do that. We'll chant the whole thing twice, accelerated. Om Namo Brahmane, Namo Astvagnaye, Namah Prithvyai, Namah Oshadhibhyaha, Namo Vache, Namo Vachaspataye, Namo Vishnave, Brihate Karomi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmane Namo Astvagnaye Namah Prithvyai Namah Oshadhibhyaha Namo Vache Namo Vachaspataye Namo Vishnave Brihate Karomi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Who would like to chant this? Now, is that shaking of the head a yes, Lisa, or is it a profound no? Okay. But did you stay with the faster chant at all, or got
No.
lost a little bit, or?
No, I totally lost on the fast one.
So I may as well have chanted it in Greek.
Well, I think because I'm still on the slow one, I could do both the pronunciation and the pitch, I think, but on the fast one, I can't do both. So
Yeah.
I just got a bit lost.
Yeah.
But I understand a little better about the pitch marks now. It was just when we went faster, I couldn't keep up.
And you're saying that is reminding me that in the end, we don't read it, we just chant it. So in other words, it becomes memorized. But I hesitate to use that word memorize because it has, for many of us, we have memories of memorizing things in school, and it makes the eyes hard and the focus is there, and it's all very, perhaps left brain, I'm not sure. But really, when we simply repeat it, when we understand it correctly, it has to be correctly understood, and then we repeat it, and then the constant repetition brings in the memorization, and then we don't have to think about it. So and I remember now that Sonia would, she would say papers down and we couldn't cheat because we were all in a real proper room together, and then we'd had to chant it, and it was very scary, especially when we had to do it by ourselves. But anyway, thank you for that. That's good, Lisa. So we'll just keep doing it. Who else would shake their head and say absolutely not, or would you like to do this? It doesn't have to be fast, and you can still read it if you like. Okay, Patty.
Om Namo Brahmane Namo Astvagnaye Namah Prithvyai Namah Oshadhibhyaha Namo Vache Namo Vachaspataye Namo Vishnave Brihate Karomi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Oh wait, you're muted. Thank you. Unmuted and
Sorry, I guess I wasn't muted before. Brava, very, very nice. Just pitch wise. Namo Brahmane Namo Astvagnaye Namah Prithvyai. It was just about there. There were just a couple of places. I'm being very picky because you're ready for pickiness. However, it was
lay it on me,
quite
Leslie.
beautiful.
Lay it on me.
It's quite beautiful. Would anyone else like to chant this at this point? Elizabeth, please.
You're muted, Elizabeth. Come back.
I have to unmute myself. Okay. Om Namo Brahmane Namo Astvagnaye Namah Prithivyaye Namah Oshadibhyaha Namo Vache Namo Vachaspataye Namo Vishnave Brahate Karomi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
I love chanting that because it feels like that when you do it, it feels like it's joyful.
Me
It
too.
reminds me of like a folk song or something. It has this kind of like, it's comforting, but like upbeat at the same time, you know?
Yeah. You could almost dance to it. Yeah. For me, it feels like good morning. It's like waking up, looking out the window and, oh, it's a beautiful day. Good morning. And it's just so salutations to Brahman, who is everything, and everything is a manifestation of Brahman. May salutation be to the fire, and namaste. Namo Brahmane, Namo Astvagnaye, Namah Priti. Salutation to the earth, Prithivyaye. Namah Oshadibhyaha. Salutations to all the plants and the trees and everything that grows and has roots in the ground. Namo Vache. Salutations to speech and salutation to the Lord of speech. Vachaspataye Namo Vishnave. Salutations to the universe, Vishna, Vishnave, Vishnu. Salutations to Vishnu, or Vishnu is also, isn't Vishnu also Lord Krishna? I've been hearing it so much, I'm starting to doubt my memory. But anyway, so it's Vishnave, Vishnave, Brihate, salutations to Lord Vishnu, who spreads everywhere, who is everywhere at the same time, and who therefore doesn't have to move because he's already everywhere. And that's what they say about Brahman too. I love that. So now let's move on to something that Caitlin requested. And I'm very glad that you requested this. This actually, it's Shanti Pataha. And I don't know if you recall, Elizabeth, it is in the mantra Valli, in the section known as the Dasha Shantiyaha, there are 10 Shanti Patahas. So Shanti, we know, meaning peace. So this translates, well, I'll chant it once. And actually it's the first half of an entire mantra. But we'll just work on this half this week. And if all goes well, we'll start the second half next week as well. Om Bhadrang Karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhir Yajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagung Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitanyadayuhu. Om Bhadram. Bhadram, that which is auspicious or good or beneficial. Bhadram Karnebhihi. May we, with our ears. So karna is a word for the ear. Karnebhihi is with our ears. So that which is auspicious with our ears. Shranuyama, may we hear. Shruti, you may have heard the word shruti, which means that which is heard. Shru. So here, Shranuyama, may we hear. Karanebhihi, with our own ears, that which is auspicious, the Bhadram. O gods, O divine ones. So here, Deva, we are calling to the Deva. So this is the 8th case noun in the plural form. O gods, may we hear with our ears that which is auspicious. And then Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhir Yajatraha. May we see, Pashyema, may we see, Bhadram, that which is auspicious, Akshabhihi, with our eyes, Akshabhihi, Yajatraha, Yaj, to worship, Yajatraha, we who are the worshipers, may we who are the worshipers, the Yajatrahas, may we see what is auspicious with our eyes. Stiraihi or stirai. Stiraihi means with something that's strong, with strong angaihi, with strong limbs, angam, the anga, our angas, our limbs, with strong limbs. Tushtuvan saha, praising. Tush means to praise. So as we praise, tushtuvan sastanubhir, we praise with our bodies, tanubhihi. So here, tanu means the body. So tanubhihi, with the bodies, may we praise with strong limbs and bodies. Vyashema, Vyashema. Vyashema meaning may we obtain fully, may we enjoy. Vyashema, may we enjoy. Deva hitam, allotted by God. Yat, which in this case is yud, because it's followed by a vowel, ayuhu. Ayus, life. That life, allotted by God in that life. O Devas, and here's a translation from a book which was a commentary written by the founder of the Ananda Ashram, Sri Brahmananda Saraswati. So the whole translation goes something like this. O Devas, O heavenly gods presiding over our senses, may we hear with our ears only that which is good and auspicious. And may we who are worshipers of ultimate truth see with our eyes only that which is good and auspicious. May we enjoy fully the lifespan allotted by God with strong and healthy bodies and organs, praising you always in divine service. Well, so with that translation unpacked, do you still want to learn it, Caitlin? Everybody else? Are we game? Nothing bad in this. Nothing bad in this. That's what's so nice about chanting beautiful devotional chants in Sanskrit. They don't mean any harm to anybody. Om Bhadram Om Bhadram Karnebhihi Now, when we combine those two words, Bhadram has to change to the nasal sound at the throat because of the ka that comes in Karnebhihi. So from Bhadram karnebhihi. We change that to Bhadrang karnebhihi. Bhadrang karnebhihi. Moving forward, Shranuyama. What a word, huh? Shranuyama. Shranuyama Devaha. Shranu. It's hard for me. I don't know about you, but you know, it's like, oh, Shranuyama Devaha. And then no matter what happens in the end, we can be very authoritative and act as though we didn't make any mistakes. It just goes, Shranuyama Devaha. So the endings are important because so that's the way when we're affirmative at the very endings, then it sounds like we got it all right and we know we're great. So you know, it's like, and we're worthy of this chant. Om Bhadrang karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha. Let's do that twice more. Om Bhadram. Sorry, I made the mistake. Om Bhadrang karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha. Om Karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha. Second line. Bhadram Pashyema. Notice the second word begins at the lips. Pa, Pashyema. So there's no change in Bhadram. We get to keep that sound at the lips. Bhadram, Bhadram Pashyema. Bhadram Pashyema. Akshabhir, Akshabhir, Akshabhir Yajatraha. Akshabhir Yajatraha. Bhadram Pashyema. Akshabhir Yajatraha. Let's go back to the first line and put those two lines together, nice and slow. Savor every vibration. Om Bhadrang karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashyema. Akshabhir Yajatraha. Again. Om Bhadrang karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashyema. Akshabhir Yajatraha. Stirai. Now, originally that word is Sthiraihi. Just do that with me. So just in your mind and in your voice, substitute the R at the end of sthirair with a H with a dot under it. Sthiraihi. Sthiraihi. But there is a grammatical rule that makes us change it to sthirair when the vowel follows, and as in angai. Sthirairangai. Here's a double danda, we call it, the double danda over the I in angai, which tells us to begin that vowel in the middle, and then during the chanting of that vowel, it goes up. So then it would go angai, angai, angai stushtuvagung. So we'll do those two words. Sthirairangai stushtuvagung. Now that gung was originally just angai stushtuvam. That was originally with no G in it. But sometimes when we chant, or pretty much all the time actually in Vedic chanting, when you see the letter S beginning the word following the anusvara, which is the M with the dot over it, the sa, so that sibilant sound is telling us to put a g before the So, and then and Sonia has taught us it to us this way. It's a gung, as though we were saying gong, but without the ah. So it's simply gung, gung, as though it were G and G, gung. I find it rather pleasant and kind of fun, kind of neat. Sthirairangai stushtuvagung, vagung. Sthirairangai stushtuvagung, sastanubhihi, sastanubhihi. So let's do that line twice through, nice and slow. Sthirairangai stushtuvagung, sastanubhihi. Sthirairangai stushtuvagung, sastanubhihi. And then finally, vyashema, vyashema, vyashema de, vyashema de, devahitam, devahitam. One more time, devahitam, devahitam. Now here's an important change at the end of devahitam. That anusvara, the changes to an nya. It's like a nya sound because of the ya that begins yada yuhu. So instead of chanting devahitam yada yuhu, that's incorrect. The correct is devahitam yada yuhu, devahitam yada yuhu. So if you need to put a pencil and put a little N with the tilde over it, if that helps you. You can even cross out the M with the dot over it, and then put the N instead, because that's what needs to be there in our sound. What's interesting to me is sometimes from Mantra Valli, I copied this literally with a couple of exceptions. I broke things down a little bit. But I think what I wanted to say was sometimes they write in the changes and sometimes they don't. It's interesting. But here, what have I done, Bhadram? I have not written in the changes, pretty much. Although, see if you can hear a change. I'm going to do it the first line fast, and I'm going to chant it for you, and without trying not to take a breath, and focus on what I do between karne bhihi and shranuyama. Okay. Om bhadrang karne bhishnuyama devaha. Now that's if we want to do it all in one breath. Om bhadrang karne bhishnuyama devaha. I always have to take a big breath. Did you notice? So I substituted the ihi with ish. So it's another S with the dash over it. So it's a double sha there. But for now, I mean, you could write that in now, but for now, we're going to keep it simple and just do it. Bhadrang karne bhihi, take a breath. Shranuyama devaha. So it's only when we don't take a breath that the change has to take place. Is there any request or question before we, I won't say plow, I won't say stumble, before we waltz through this? Maybe it feels, and I think the goal is to, when we chant any chant, is to feel like we're walking on sunshine, like that song, or walking on clouds. Although in the beginning, I think I found this more like trekking through the mud. But let's see if we can walk on some clouds with this eventually. So is there anything you want to go over specifically before we just waltz through this?
I just have to say that I think it's funny, and I thought I saw Lisa laughing too. The third line, if all of these rules in Vedic chanting are to make it flow more easily, like that third line is just the most kind of ridiculous thing I've seen so far.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, this was taught to people who spoke this language, and they were born. They learned the mouth positions in utero, for fuck's sake. I mean, we didn't, we're learning this as a
Samskara. I mean, thank you for that. That makes me feel better.
It's athleticism of the tongue, big time. It's, level 5 or 6, level 10 asana practice of the tongue. I mean, it's, doing Hanumanasana in Shirshasana, I don't know what, it's worse, I don't know, Padmasana in something. Okay, so are we ready to just float through it? Let's see what happens. Okay, twice through. Om Bhadrang Karnebhihi Shranuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhir Yajatraha Sthirairangaistushtuvagung Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitanyadayuhu. Om Bhadrang karnebhihi shranuyama devaha bhadram pashyema akshabhir yajatraha sthirairangaistushtuvagung sastanubhihi vyashema devahitam yadayuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Patty's laughing. Sorry, everybody. Oh. Jennifer, would you kindly lead us in Om Shanti Shanti Shanti? I'm my throat and mouth and tongue have gone elsewhere.
I can't hear you, but I don't know if anybody else, but you're not on mute, but I couldn't hear you. It was the best. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
I can't hear a thing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Okay, one more
Can
time.
you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I feel like that commercial. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Jennifer. Let's each one of us chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, starting with Patty, and then Patty, and after Patty, Elizabeth, after Elizabeth, Lisa, after Elisa, Caitlin.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Well, thanks to each and every one of you. I feel more settled. That was, wow, what a chant. So we'll continue with this. Okay. Do you have energy and time left for the closing invocation? We've never quite worked with that. So
I
let's.
have about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right, we can do that. Let's do the closing invocation, and then I wanted to announce something that Bob Gilbo is offering to help support India. But let's do the invocation first. So I'll do it once, and then we'll do it again. Okay, just the first part. Yadaksharpada brashtam matrahinantu yad bhavet. So just that, everybody. Let's see who. Get somebody else to lead. Elizabeth, would you kindly lead, and everybody else chant with her?
Yadaksarapada brashtam matrahinantu Matrahi nantu yad bhavet.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to chant that? Okay, let's do it all together. I'll lead one more time and then we'll move on to the next part. Yadaksharpada brashtam matrahinantu yad bhavet. And then after that, Tatsarvang kshamyatan deva Narayana namostute. Elizabeth, would you chant that as well, please? So let's chant with her.
Tat sarvang kshamyatan deva Narayana namostute.
Thank you. Now let's do it from the beginning through that, and then we'll tack on Shri Mate Narayanaya. Okay. Well, actually, let me lead you in that first. Shri Mate Narayanaya Namo Namaha. Shri Mate Narayanaya Namo Namaha. Now, let's take everything from the beginning up to that point. Yadaksharabada, sorry, screwed up, sorry. Yadaksharabada brashtam matrahinantu yad bhavet tatsarvang kshamyatan deva Narayana namostute. Shri Mate Narayanaya Namo Namaha. And then it goes like this. So after Namaha Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi yad yat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarpayami Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Would you like to go over any of that, or all of it, or chant it for us? Anyone at all? Or is that enough to sit with you for a while? Okay. Bob Gilbo and Mary Riley, who is a senior certified Iyengar yoga teacher, and we've been, as you probably are aware, we've been leading this course in the Bhagavad Gita. Well, Bob has been. I've been the lucky one who gets to chant some of the verses. And he wants to offer a bonus Saturday on May 22nd. And I think it's going to be, I'm not sure what time it's going to start. And I asked, and it's going, all the proceeds, he's asking for a donation, and everything is going to go directly through the Iyengar Yoga Association of the United States to and through UNICEF to benefit India. Everything is going to go, hopefully, fingers crossed, to help people in India. And some links have been set up and that kind of thing. And so that's where the proceeds are going. And it's going to be Bob giving his wonderful presentations. It's kind of a wrapping up presentation of the Bhagavad Gita with some pertinent verses. And he's very good at picking out illustrations, beautiful illustrations. And he's so adept at Zoom and the technicalities of it. And so it's going to be another beautiful slideshow with his telling us the significance of it. And then he'll ask us to chant a couple of verses with the idea in mind of helping those who are in India right now. And so I wanted to let you all know it now. And when they have the link set up, which is probably later on today, if that's all right with you, Patty, I thought I would send it to you and then you can send it out to the whole Tuesday chant group.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and Caitlin and Elizabeth, you're going to get it anyway because they're going to be sending it to everybody who's already taking the Bhagavad Gita course. So it might be nice. Could be very nice.
Do you know what time it is?
I know, I was assuming it might be at 9 a.m., but I'm really not sure. It may start at the time that he usually starts, which is 10 a.m. So Lisa, that means you'd have to get up early or stay up late, wouldn't it? I mean, if it's if it's 9
That
or
would be late- that would just be late at night.
would be what time? I mean, if it's 10 a.m., which I think it might be, what time is it in Australia then? 10 a.m. So it's
6 hours, so it'd be midnight.
midnight. Okay. A midnight workshop for you.
Yeah.
It could be
There
fun.
must be an auspicious time or something.
Yeah. Moving from one day into the next.
Yeah.
So does anybody have anything to say or ask or request? So Caitlin, how are you doing with this chant? I mean, are you happy with it?
Yeah, it's with these Vedic chants, like there's never a melody, so it's kind of hard to feel it until I'm able to do it faster.
Yeah.
Like with the other Shanti Pataha or Pataha, I'm finally starting to feel what the chant feels like
Yeah.
and starting to get it more. So it's interesting, but I just have to practice it more and have more of an experience of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice to know what the chant marks are. I years ago, before I had undertaken to learn Vedic chanting, I bought this little book from the Adnanda Ashram. It is the best book, and it's all about the Mandukya Upanishad. And the writing, I mean, I was practicing my Sanskrit, and the writing, you can see here, it's nice and big. And, when I started studying Sanskrit, I was like in my 50s, and my eyes were starting to go, and I was brokenhearted because I had to read all the tiny writing, in the textbooks. And I thought, oh, I'm just learning Sanskrit and my eyes are going bad. Oh, what a shame. But anyway, I was just, I taught myself this chant without knowing what the melody was. I just sort of went syllable by syllable and over again. And I was also trying to train myself to read the Devanagari. But then happily, Sonia taught it. And it is in our lineage, and it's in the Mantra Valli. So this book. But I'm glad you're taking it on. It's very worthwhile. All these samskaras we're putting in. Well, Lisa, have a great day. Everybody else, enjoy your dinner and a nice evening.